What this government is going to be seeking to do is to try and spend less and less on government services across Queensland. And they want to do that through a process of privatisation through another name called contestability. Contestability is the destruction of services in regional Queensland. If things come down to a dollar value, it's always cheaper to centralise services. It's always cheaper to provide those services in Brisbane. So privatisation and contestability will result in second-class services in Brisbane for those people who haven't got private health insurance. But for people in regional Queensland, it's not second-rate services, it's third-rate services. You privatise a boot camp. You have it for 6 months and you have kids running loose. And what's their response? Not, whoops, we made a mistake. I've got a problem, I've got to go and fix it. They start pointing the finger at the person they've just given the contract to and the department for giving them the contract. There's absolutely no level of accountability from the politicians for the failure of that boot camp. And these are the same people who now want to come to us and say, we're fine, we can manage contract employment, we can outsource the whole of a correctional service to the private sector. We can't manage a boot camp, but we can manage high security prisons across the state.
I'm in my 16th year out of Lotus Glen there, and I'm quite proud of what I do. And we have a very difficult job, and we have to look after people that are no longer able to be trusted in society. Now our job is to rehabilitate these guys and to put them back in the community when they've done their time. If they privatise the services. It goes from a rehabilitation type service to a profit driven service. So they're about making money out of industries. I've got no idea how many jobs would go, but if you took 50 jobs out of Lotus Glen administration alone, at an average, and just work it out in your head, say it was $50,000 a year per worker, how much money that's coming out of this town.
You know, you talk to people in the public, as we try to do, to keep them informed, but there's nothing coming from the government to give us any timelines around when this sort of contestability and the audit is going to be implemented. Do we have any information on that?
In relation to corrective services, the Audit Commission, the government's response to the Audit Commission, they didn't accept upfront the decision to contract out the correctional centres. They put that off until the review is finalised by the former Commissioner for the Australian Federal Police, Mick Kelty. That decision, that review is to be finalised in June. So there's a window of opportunity to try and influence the government about corrective services between now and the end of June, and probably around pathology over the next 6 months after that.
What they will do with pathology is they will ask local private providers to put in a bid, and the bid will be done almost certainly in secret. There will be no consultation with clinicians or people who will already do it, and we will only find out after the contract is signed which bits of the service still exist, because those will be the bits that are profitable, and there will be some of the stuff that we have to now send to Brisbane. And I can tell you get someone who's sick, you want to do a gram stain, look at under the microscope for bugs, or get regular updates on what they've found. That's when people die. People will die. There are already some delays. The delays will increase. And when they say they've outsourced the lab or something similar, a specimen that sits on a shelf for 12 hours doesn't give you the same results as a specimen that goes straight to the lab.
People shouldn't die because they live outside Brisbane, and people shouldn't die because they haven't got health insurance. But that's what's going to be suggested by this contestability process. Every government service, primarily health because it's the biggest budget line item, but everything from health to corrections to schools to TAFE to disabilities to child protection will all be put through a process of trying to cut the costs. And we know what that will mean in terms of long term, in terms of what that will mean to people's lives and to the people who need those services.